Hey guys, John here with RealTruck.com. Today I want to show you how to install the US Speedo Blue LED instrument cluster kit onto this 2013 F-150. We've got our kit laid out on our bench here, and you can see everything that comes with the kit. Of course, you get the instruction sheet that tells you what you need to do to replace your bulbs in your instrument cluster. You also have a info card that comes in here for customer support, and also, that's kind of cool. I just noticed this. There's a 50% off coupon on the back for professional installation. So that's always an option for you as well, but we're going to show you here how to do it so you don't need that card. Also, there's a number on there you can call if you need help. It also comes with the needle removal tool. This is to take the needles off of your gauges on your instrument cluster. Plus, it comes with with a package of all your LEDs. Now, guys, when you look at this, don't get confused. This is not like one LED strip you put on here. Each one of these is a teeny tiny individual little LED bulb, and that's what we're going to be replacing on our instrument cluster. So, next thing to do is get the old cluster out of the truck, and then I'll start showing you how to put these on. Some of the other cool stuff about these things is that not only does it come with your needle removal tool and your instructions, which are both important, but also some of the really neat features of this is that they are 50% brighter than your standard dash lights. Also, they're 75% cooler. First order of business to get our new LEDs into our instrument cluster is to get the old one out. And on this particular truck, it's going to vary depending on what vehicle you have. But on this 2013 F-150 Platinum, the way we take it out is to start by removing the two screws that are up here that hold this bezel on around the instrument cluster. So I'm going to take those out, and then we're going to start pulling this apart to get in here to our instrument cluster to get it out of the dash. Once you get these four screws out that hold your cluster in, then it's just a matter of wiggling it up and out of here. And then there's one wire on the top up here. Just unclip it, pull it out. Okay guys, once you get your Torx head screws out of these rings, you can just go ahead and pull them up out of the way, set them off to the side. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use that tool that came in the kit for removing our needles. What we're going to do is we're going to take this tool and we're going to slide it up underneath our needles and use it to gently lift them up and off. At this point, if you guys look down in here, you can see all of the little individual LEDs, which we're going to be replacing with our new US Speedo LEDs. So we've got that part ready. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over, and then we'll have to use our number 5 Torx and remove these 4 screws and pull this up off of here, so that way we can get this faceplate section out of the way so that we can actually get in there to our LEDs. Okay, once our faceplate is off and out of the way, we can see what we're doing down in here. Then what we're going to do is pull these pins the rest of the way off. And the reason why we didn't want to do this before was because with our faceplate on, we might actually damage the faceplate, and we don't want to do that. So it's a little easier. I mean, you can do it if you want to, but it's a little easier, in my thoughts, is to just work that around these and then pull these off once you get the faceplate out of the way, so that way you don't scrape up the faceplate trying to get up underneath of them. Okay. As you can see here, we've got our panel out of here, and we now have access to all of our LEDs so that we can begin the process of replacing these. Once we've got everything out, we've got our circuit board out, the next thing to do is start removing our LEDs. What we want to do is take our soldering gun. We want to go along the edge of our LEDs. Now, the other thing is to make sure which one or where we're going to put them back, how they go back on. And what you want to do, and on this one it's a little easy because it's got these arrows, and so you know which direction. And then on your new LEDs, I'll show you in a minute, but it's got a little notch out so you know which way to put the new one back on. But to start with, we're going to get one of these old ones off here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to loosen up the solder, the factory solder on the board here, and that's going to allow us to be able to pull our LED up and off of here. Okay, and then we'll just take the old one and lay it off to the side someplace. And then what we want to do is we want to take our soldering iron and we want to smooth down the solder that's on here, because that's where we're going to put our new LED back on. We're going to grab one of our new LEDs out of our strip. Now you can see on this one up here in this corner, it has this little notch out. That's the direction that's going to go in the upper corner. Yeah, there we go. Okay, you can see on here on the side right here there's a little white arrow, and then right up there on this corner is where our notch is, and we want it to face the same direction along with that arrow. And then we know we've got it in the right spot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of solder in here. Now, just so you guys know, you're looking at this thinking, probably thinking, oh my God, really? But it's really not that hard to do. It just takes some time to get all these loosened out and resoldered back on. We'll keep that solder damp while we get this set. A coupon that will allow you to send this in, your instrument cluster in, and have these done for, looks like that's $50 to have them put these on for you. We've got all of our new LEDs attached to our instrument cluster circuit board. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this over to the truck and we're going to plug it back in to make sure that all of our new ones light up and that we didn't have any problems and create any issues for our old ones. Make sure they're working too. All right, what we're going to do is we're just going to take our wire that we unplugged from the cluster before, plug that in and take a look. And as you guys can see, all of our new ones are lit up like they're supposed to, and everything looks good. So we're going to go ahead and put this back together. We're going to start putting everything back together and put all our pieces back in. Make sure we get these things back in correctly. And kind of be gentle with this circuit board, guys, putting it back in. If it doesn't seem like it's wanting to go down in easily, don't force it. Pull it back up and see what's going on, because you might have a problem somewhere. Something might be catching or something, and you don't want to force it down there and break it. And we'll hook our ribbon back up for our information center. Once we've got that back together, then we go ahead and flip this over to the front side. And we can start reattaching our pieces to the front, starting with our faceplate. Put that back on there. And then our little gauges that we took apart up the top, what we're going to do is go ahead and just put these back on, because now that we have these off, we don't have to worry about damaging our faceplate, pulling them off. So, and these just kind of push, these covers just push back on top of these. You hear that little snap. Once our needles are on, then we can go ahead and put our rings back on for our light. Those LEDs that we replaced, those are going to actually be lit up in this ring. Once that's on, then we can take our cluster and we can put it back into our faceplate. It's just a matter of lining everything up and snapping her back down. We'll take the back section and we'll put it back on here. And kind of the same way as the other side, just snapping it all in place. Put our screws back in. Once we've got those all back in, then we'll flip it over. We'll reinstall these two on the front. And we're pretty much ready to go put this back in the truck. We'll get our plug. We want to plug this back in. And this is going to be a little bit difficult because you really can't see what you're doing on there. So you just kind of got to feel around, get it back in the right spot. Get it back up underneath here. Up in there. There we go. Now we can put our screws back in that hold that in. We've got our cluster back into the dash. So the next thing to do is put our faceplate back on, and you remember we popped these off from up here, so we got to put those back in where they go. And that's just a matter of getting them lined back up in here. Okay, get that all snapped back into place. Move this back up in here where it goes. Click it down. Then we'll reattach our screws for that. There we go, we've got our dash all back together and everything's all set here. So the next step is to start this truck up and take a look at this new gauge setup. So you guys all ready? Count this down with me. 3, 2, no, you guys aren't all counting. Everybody's got to count at the same time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now how about that? Doesn't that look cool? This was kind of part of the idea here, was to leave our needles the original factory light blue and to get the illumination in the dark blue, which is our LEDs that we replaced, so that we could have these needles really stand out against that dark blue background. That's how you install the US Speedo Blue LED instrument cluster kit into your truck. So we're gonna wait till nighttime and take this thing out and kind of really get a good look at it in the dark, but it's gonna look really awesome. So until next time, guys, happy motoring.